Correlating NSM data is an essential skill the security analyst must possess. Correlation is taking multiple data types from multiple sources and piecing them together to form a picture of the event. The IP5 tuple and timestamps are valuable aspects to correlate events across multiple data sets. So let's walk through an example where multiple data sources can be used and correlated, and then a bigger picture can be developed. This is a sample capture here that summarizes 3 IPS alerts. Each alert contains a full IP5 tuple. The destination port, in this case TCP port 25, identifies the SMTP protocol, and the timestamps, if you notice, are identical. In this scenario, and armed with the knowledge of the DMZ email server and internal email server addresses, and the IPS sensor placement in the network, the analyst can deduce that all 3 alerts are associated with the delivery of the same email, as it was received on the DMZ, then forwarded from the DMZ, and finally received on the internal server subnet. Looking further at the alert information, the analyst sees that the alert is associated with a suspicious executable email attachment, which can correlate with extracted content. With Bro configured to extract all email attachments, the analyst examines the file that Bro has extracted and finds that there are 3 files that are extracted from SMTP with the same timestamps as the 3 IPS alerts. So performing a quick hash sum computation on all 3 files verifies that they are all identical, and again the same email and attachment was seen 3 times as it was forwarded through the network. The analyst takes this file and submits it to a sandbox detonation service to see if there's any malicious activity that is triggered. And as seen in the lower screenshot, when the file is executed, it attempts to perform a connection to a system on the internet. The sandbox analysis produces an indication of compromise. The 209.165.200.235 IP address is a suspicious address. Any internal systems which have attempted to communicate with this address may have also been compromised. The analyst correlates with transcription data to get more information. The analyst looks at the transaction logs from the internal SMTP server. And using the timestamp and peer information, the analyst finds the log records that are associated with the reception of this email. So let's look at those log files to see what can be determined. From these server logs, now the analyst has a username. The email was directed to Wendy. So far, the logs show that the email reached the internal SMTP server and it was directed to Wendy, and looking further in the log file shows that Wendy logged in with an IMAP client. IMAP clients automatically synchronize mailboxes upon connection. So, the analyst can assume that Wendy did receive the email. The log also indicates Wendy's IP address, which is a very important artifact. However, the analyst still doesn't know if Wendy opened the email or executed the attachment. Session data can be used in the next step of the analysis. The analyst knows the suspicious email address and Wendy's IP address. And querying session data for that conversation confirms that there has been some activity, so let's look at that. As shown here, one of the conversations is to TCP port 4444, which is likely a command and control channel. The other conversation is to TCP port 21, which is a standard FTP port, so there may have been data exfiltration. Given the precise information that is provided by focus session data, the analyst can fairly easily find relevant conversations within the full packet capture data. Using the protocol decode feature of the protocol analyzer, the analyst can examine the details of an FTP session and view if any data has been exfiltrated. And although this scenario is greatly simplified, the sole intent is to demonstrate that the event correlation across multiple data types and data sources is critical to the network security analyst process.